we go. So once again, welcome everyone. We're glad to have you on my Thursday 5 o'clock yoga class. So go ahead and find a nice comfortable seat. Maybe seated cross-legged. Feel free to rest your hands on your legs. Maybe close your eyes for just a few moments and just begin watching your breath. Watch it flow in and flow out. In through your nose and out through your nose. Just taking a few moments to pause, allowing your mind to rest from the busyness of the day. And just watch your breath flow in and flow out. Today, I want to work on a couple of breathing exercises, one at the beginning and one at the end. Because I find these breathing exercises are a great way to take a pause in the day, giving the insecurity and all the newness of our current lifestyles. I find, at least for me, the breathing practices really help. And my main go-to breathing practice is box breathing. And with the box breathing, you breathe at a count of 4 in a box pattern. And so it goes, you breathe in for 4, you hold for 4, you exhale for 4, and hold for 4. I'll walk us through one round, and then you can continue from there using your own count. So as we begin, breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, inhale, and continue from there with your own count for maybe 5 or 6 rounds of box breathing. And after you've completed 5 or 6 rounds of box breathing, just come back to deep inhales and exhales, and just continue to watch your breath for a few more rounds. Now breathe in a few more breaths. And then slowly open your eyes and make your way to your feet. That's where we'll begin today. So we'll begin standing. From your standing position, firmly root both of your feet into the mat, fully engage your legs. Inhale, sweep your hands up to the sky. On your exhale, lower your right hand down towards the floor. Take your left hand and extend it over to the right. Inhale, sweep your hands back up to the sky. And on your exhale, lower your left hand down and extend your right hand over to the left. Inhale your hands back up to center. And then take your right foot, step your right foot so that your right toes are at the heel of your left foot. On your exhale, take your left hand, reach towards the back of the room or back of the mat. Take your gaze over your left shoulder. Inhale back to the front. Sweep your hands up to the sky. Step your right foot beside your left. Once again, reestablish your mountain position and then step your left foot so that your left toes are at the heel of your right foot. And then take your right hand and reach towards the back of the mat. Gaze over your right hand this time. Inhale back to the front, hands up to the sky. Step your left foot beside your right. Interlace your fingers. Press your palms up towards the ceiling. Keep your core engaged here. And then slowly lower your hands down in front of your chest, still interlaced, thumbs down. And then press your right wrist away and pull your left wrist toward you. Warming up our wrists. And then we'll switch. Press your left wrist away, pull your right wrist toward you. Release back to center. Your hands back to center. Flip your thumbs up. And we'll go through that same process again, pressing your right wrist away, pulling your left wrist toward you. Release. Press your left wrist away, pull your right wrist toward you. And release. Inhale, sweep your hands up to the sky. And then exhale, forward fold. It's your first forward fold of the day, so let your head hang heavy. Feel free to bend your knees if you need to. Maybe take opposite elbows if you like. And then maybe sway side to side, left or right if you like. If you're grabbing opposite elbows, release. And exhale, fold a little deeper. Inhale, half lift. And then exhale, step back to plank pose. Maybe lower your knees down to a knees down push-up. Inhale, exhale, slowly lower down to the mat. Untuck your toes. Inhale, peel your chest up off of the mat. Cobra pose. Exhale down. Inhale to the top of your knees down push-up. And then exhale, sit your hips back towards your heels in the child's pose, bringing your head down towards the mat. And just take a couple of breaths here in your child's pose. Arms can be fully extended in front, or you can let your arms rest down on the mat, your choice. Now reach your hands as far forward as possible. Inhale, rise up to your knees down, push up. Then exhale, lower down to the floor. Inhale, press up into your cobra pose. Exhale down. Inhale to the top of your knees, down push up once again. Tuck your toes, and then exhale. Lift your hips up towards the sky to your first down dog. Bringing your head in between your arms, ears by your biceps. Nice, long, straight spine. And then maybe begin to pedal your feet out, straightening your right, bending your left, straightening your left, bending your right. And walking, pedaling your feet back and forth, slow or fast, your choice. And then find stillness here in your down dog for a couple of breaths. Inhale as you roll forward to plank pose. And once you get to plank, lower your knees down to tabletop. In your tabletop position, spread your left hand, left fingers nice and wide. And then take your right hand and reach your right hand forward with your thumb up in the air. Take your left leg, the leg on the opposite side, extend it back. Strong through your hand and your knee that's on the mat. Core is nice and strong. On your exhale, pull your extended knee and extended elbow towards each other, towards the center of your body. Inhale, extend long. Exhale, knee and elbow in. Inhale, extend. One more time. Exhale, knee and elbow in. Inhale, extend. Take a breath or two here. Lower your hand and your knee back down to your tabletop. Once again, reestablish your base nice and strong. This time, press your right hand into the mat nice and strong. Fingertips on your right hand, pressing in the mat as you extend your left arm. And then extend your right leg. Once again, strong through your core, strong base. Exhale, pull your extended knee and elbow towards the center of your body. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee and elbow in. Inhale, extend. One more time. Exhale, knee and elbow in. Inhale, extend. Another breath or two here. And then lower your hand and lower your knee back down to tabletop. Untuck your toes, walk your hands back to your knees, sit back onto your heels into your hero pose. Maybe massage your wrists out. Just take a little breath here before we move on. And now make your way back to tabletop. And from your tabletop position, let's go through a few cat-cows. On your inhale, lift your chin up towards the sky. Let your belly drop down towards the ground. On your exhale, pull your chin towards your chest. Round the middle part of your back up towards the sky. Cat pose. Inhale, cow pose. Chin pulls through, lifts towards the sky, belly drops. Exhale, chin to chest, round your back. And now do 3 or 4 cat-cows, moving with your own breath. And then after you've done 3 or 4 cat-cows, tuck your toes and exhale to down dog. And maybe take a few breaths here in your down dog. Now step, walk, or hop to the front of the mat. and forward fold. Press into both feet, slight bend in your knees. Inhale, rise up, hands up to the sky. Exhale, chair pose. Sit your hips back and down. If you're sitting into a chair, fully engage those quads. Maybe take a gaze down, see if you can see your toes. If you can't see your toes, pull your hips towards the back of the mat. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift with a flat back. Exhale, step or hop to plank. Take about 3 breaths here in your plank pose. Inhale, exhale, lower down to the mat. And inhale to cobra pose. Exhale down, tuck your toes. Inhale up and exhale, down dog. From your down dog, lift your right leg up to the sky, 3-leg down dog. On your exhale, take your right knee towards your right elbow. Inhale your leg back up to the sky. Exhale your right knee towards your right elbow again. Inhale to the sky. Last time. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale. Sweep it back up to the sky. This time on your exhale, step your right foot to the outside of your right hand. And when it gets there, lower your back knee down to a low lunge. Press your right foot firmly into the mat. Press your left hand firmly into the mat. Take your right hand, lift it up to the sky. Maybe take your gaze up towards your right thumb. And breathe here. Lower your right hand back down to the mat. On your inhale, rise up. Sweep your hands up to the sky. Now another twist here. On your exhale, take your left hand to your right knee. Take your right hand, reach towards the back of the mat. Take your gaze over your right shoulder. Inhale back to the front of the mat, hands up to the sky. All right, one more twist. You can do that exact same twist we just did, or if you want a little more challenge, bring your hands to prayer. On your exhale, take your left elbow to the outside of your right knee. And then exhale, take your gaze over your right shoulder. Feel free to stay right here, or if you want a little more challenge, tuck your back toe, press into both feet, and then lift your left knee up off the mat into a more of a high lunge position. Press into both feet nice and strong. Inhale, rise up as you come back facing the front of the mat. If you kept your left knee down, lift your left knee back to a high lunge. Bring your hands down to the mat. Take your right foot and sweep it back to plank pose. Take a couple of more breaths here in your plank. Inhale, exhale down. Inhale to cobra. Exhale down. Tuck your toes. Inhale up and exhale down dog. Couple of breaths here in your down dog. Lift your left leg up to the sky, 3-leg down dog. On your exhale, take your left knee toward your left elbow. Inhale, sweep it back to the sky. Exhale, left knee toward your left elbow. Inhale up. And a third time, exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale up to the sky. Then exhale, step your left foot to the outside of your left hand. Lower your back knee down to low lunge once again. Press into your right hand, your left foot. Take your left hand, lift it up to the sky. Take your gaze up towards your left thumb. Lower your left hand back down to the mat. Press into both feet. Inhale, rise up, hands up to the sky, low lunge. On your exhale, take your right hand to your left knee. Take your left hand, reach towards the back of the mat. Take your gaze over your left shoulder. Inhale back forward, reach your hands up to the sky. We'll do that twist once again. You can do it that same way, or if you want the more challenging way, bring your hands to prayer. On your exhale, take your right elbow to the outside of your left knee. And then exhale, take your gaze over your left shoulder. Once again, feel free to stay right here, or if you want the more challenging route, press in, tuck your right toes, and then lift your right knee. More of a high lunge. Press into both feet, release your twist, and bring your gaze and your body, upper body back facing the front of the mat. If your back knee is still tucked, lower it down. And then lower your hands back down to the mat and sweep your left foot back to plank. A couple of breaths here. Inhale, exhale down. Inhale up to cobra. Exhale down. Tuck your toes. Inhale up and exhale, down dog. Take a few breaths here in your down dog. Inhale as you roll it down back to plank pose, and then lower your knees down to tabletop. From your tabletop position, take your right foot and kick it out to the side like you were making a kickstand. Tuck your toes, tuck your right toes. Take your left leg, extend it towards the back of the mat so that your leg is nice and long, toes on the mat, and then you let your heel fall over so that the inside of your foot is on the mat. Take your right hand, drag it over, your left hand, drag it over to the right. Lift your left hand up to the sky, side plank. Brace your core, brace that rib cage on the right hand side. Maybe take your gaze up towards your left thumb. And if you want a little bit more, a little hip flexor work, lift your extended leg up off of the floor. And breathe. And then lower your foot. Left foot, left hand back down. Make your way back to tabletop. Take a breath, and we'll move to the other side. This time, take your left foot, kick it out to the side, make your kickstand with your left foot. Take your right leg, extend it back, and let your right foot fall over so that the inside of your right foot is on the mat. This time, drag your right hand over to your left, lift your right hand up to the sky. Maybe take your gaze up towards your right thumb. Brace your core, brace your left rib cage this time. Breathe. And if you want the extended hip flexor work, lift your right leg up off of the mat. Lower your right hand back down to the mat, your right knee back down to the mat, back to tabletop pose. Tuck your toes, exhale, make your way back to down dog. Take about 3 breaths here in your down dog. Inhale as you roll forward to plank. Exhale, lower down to the mat and pause. Untuck your toes, bring your elbows under your shoulders. Into Sphinx pose. Press into your hands, press into your elbows. Press your shoulder blades up and away from your shoulders. Brace your core. Press the tops of your feet firmly into the mat. We'll call this a fully engaged Sphinx pose. Next, tuck your toes, both toes. Press them into the floor, brace your core, and then lift your hips up to a low plank. Feel free to stay right here in your low plank, or if you want a little more challenge, let both of your heels fall over to the right. Inhale back up to center. Exhale, let both heels fall over to the left. Inhale back up to center. One more breath here. You can do it. We're almost there. And then slowly lower your hips back down to your Sphinx pose. Untuck your toes. Maybe keep your gaze maybe in between your thumbs here. So your chin is not lifted and it's not tucked. It's kind of in a neutral position and your gaze is kind of down towards your thumbs. And breathe. So how you doing? You good for one more plank? Let's give it a try. If at any point in this plank work you decide, okay, I've had enough, just return right back here to this Sphinx position, and then we'll be back here in just a moment. Tuck your toes, brace your core, lift your hips back up to your low plank. Feel free to stay here, or if you want to do the twisting challenge, let your heels fall over to the right. Inhale to center. Exhale, heels to the left. Inhale to center. Another breath here. And then lower your hips back down to your Sphinx pose. Untuck your toes and catch your breath. Press into your hands, lift your elbows and pull them away from you as you lower back down to the mat. Bring your hands back by your chest. Tuck your toes. Inhale as you press up and exhale, down dog. Step your right foot to the outside of your right hand, left foot to the outside of your left hand, and sink your hips down into your low yoga squat. Press both elbows into your knees. Bring your hands to prayer. Maybe press your knees a little wider. Maybe sink your hips a little lower. If you're finding you're having trouble getting your heels on the ground, maybe move your feet away from each other towards the outside edges of the mat. That tends to help. and breathe. Press into both feet nice and strong. Inhale. Exhale. Press into your feet. Rise up. Hands up to the sky. And exhale your hands down to prayer pose. And then release your hands down to mountain. And that'll bring us to our balance today. For our balance today, we'll continue working on this Warrior 3 that we've been working on. We're going to go Warrior 3 and then work from there to chair. So I'll turn to the side today so that I don't kick the wall here beside of me. Press into both feet nice and strong. Brace your core. Maybe turn the palms of your hands towards the front of the mat. Fully engage every muscle in your body from your arms all the way down to your feet into your mountain pose. Next, slightly shift your weight into your left leg. And now re-engage that left leg and firmly root your left foot into the mat. As you do that, lift your right knee. Feel free to use your hands wherever you need to for balance. And then on your exhale, press your right leg through, flexing your right foot, getting that nice long straight line through your body from your heel to your head. Arms can be down by your side. You can bring your arms to prayer, or you can extend your arms up over your head, your choice. Feel free to stay right here, or if you want a little more challenge, begin to let your heel lift up towards the sky as your head falls down, as you maintain that nice long straight line. Left leg with the foot on the floor can be bent or straight, your choice, and you can hinge as far as you would like. The farther, the better. But you want to maintain that nice long straight line from heel to head. Press into your left foot. Inhale, begin to rise up. Pull your right knee back through. Lift your right knee, and as you get there, take your left foot across, left ankle across your right knee. Let your right ankle, let me get this right. Right ankle on your left knee, like you're sitting cross-legged in a chair. On your exhale, let your hips begin to shift back and down. Notice your knee. Try to keep your knee stacked over your foot. Don't let your knee come forward. More so, let the hips go back and down. Hands can be in prayer or out to the sides for balance, whichever works for you today. And breathe in your chair pose. Press into your left foot. Inhale, rise up. Lift your right knee back up. And then exhale, lower it down back to mountain pose. And check it out once you get there. And take a few breaths as we prepare for the other side. Once again, come back to your mountain pose. Both legs fully engaged. Core fully engaged, chest lifted, maybe slight turn of your palms towards the front of the mat. Breathe here. Slowly slide your weight over onto your right leg. Once again, reestablish a strong base through that right leg, and then lift your left knee. And then on your left side, exhale, press your left leg through and back, flex your left foot. Once again, reestablish that right leg fully rooted into the ground. Nice long straight line from your heel to your head. And on your exhale, begin to hinge. And once again, arms wherever works for you. Airplane, prayer, out in front, over your head, your choice. And hinge as far as you would like on this side, but still maintaining that nice long straight line. Press into your right foot. Inhale, rise up, pull your left knee through. Take your left ankle across your right knee. Let your left knee fall into your seated cross-legged chair. On your exhale, hips sit back and down once again. And breathe here. And once again, feel free to go as low as you would like. And just pause wherever your edge might be. Press into your right foot. Inhale, rise up. Lift your left knee up. And lower it down. Exhale your hands back to mountain pose. And then shake it out. All right. Now, come back to mountain pose once again. And let's reset for this next sequence. Maybe lower your gaze for just a few moments. Bring your focus back to your breath. And let your heart rate begin to slow back down. And breathe. And let your heart rate come back to a nice resting pace. Just before we bring it back up again. Couple of breaths. In through your nose and out through your nose. Inhale, sweep your hands up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step or hop to plank pose. Inhale, exhale down. Inhale to cobra. Exhale down. Tuck your toes. Inhale up and exhale, down dog. And take a couple of breaths here in down dog. Lift your right leg up to the sky, 3-leg down dog. On your exhale, step your right foot all the way through between your hands. Press into both feet. Inhale, rise up, hands up to the sky, high lunge. Let's go back to those twists again. On your exhale, take your left hand to your right knee. Take your right hand, reach towards the back of the mat, gaze over your right shoulder. Breathe. Inhale back forward, hands up to the sky. All right, one more twist. Again, you can do that same one, or if you want the more challenging one, bring your hands to prayer. On your exhale, the outside of your right knee. And exhale your gaze over your right shoulder. Inhale as you rise back up to your high lunge. Once you get to your high lunge, spin your back foot across the mat to warrior two. Bring your arms to warrior two. Left leg nice and straight, right knee bend as much as you would like. Check your alignment in your arms, good long straight line in an even plane. Gaze over your right fingertips. Bend your right arm. Bring your right arm, exhale, down to your right knee. Take your left hand, reach it up to the sky, and as you do, spin your pinky towards the front of the mat and continue reaching your right hand towards the front of the mat, creating nice long stretch all the way from your pinky all the way down to your ankle on your left side body. Breathe. Inhale, rise up, warrior two. Spin your right hand, drop your left hand, lift your right hand up to the sky, exalted warrior. Inhale back, warrior two. Couple more breaths here. Windshield wiper, frame out your front foot. Sweep your front foot back to plank. Inhale. Exhale, lower down. Inhale to cobra. Exhale down. Tuck your toes. Inhale up and exhale, down dog. Lift your left leg up to the sky, 3-leg down dog. Exhale, step your left foot through between your hands. Press into both feet. Inhale, rise up, high lunge. Brace your core here. Brace your arms, every muscle in your body engaged. Back to the twists on your exhale. Right hand to left knee. Left hand towards the back of the mat. Gaze over your left shoulder. Inhale back to the front. Hands back up to the sky. One more twist to the same side. Once again, you can use that same twist we just did, or you want the more challenging one. Exhale, hands to prayer. Inhale. Exhale your right elbow to the outside of your left knee. And gaze over your left shoulder. Inhale back to center. Take your right foot, spin your right foot across the mat to warrior two. Front heel in line with your back arch. Bring your arms up to a T position, warrior two. Gaze over your left arms this time. Left fingers this time. Again, check your arms, make sure they're in an even plane. Right leg straight this time, left leg is bent as much as you would like. Breathe. Bend your left elbow. Bring your left arm, exhale to your left knee. Take your right hand, reach it up towards the sky. And as it gets there, spin your hand so that your pinky is towards the front of the mat. And then continue to reach towards the front of the mat, creating that nice long space through your right side body this time. As you exhale into the stretch. Inhale, rise back up, warrior two. Spin your left hand, drop your right, lift your left hand up to the sky, exalted warrior. Inhale, warrior two. Windshield wiper, frame out your front foot, sweep your front foot back to plank. Inhale, exhale down. Inhale to cobra. Exhale down. Inhale to tabletop this time. Exhale, child's pose. We generated quite a bit of heat through that sequence. So just take a moment to catch your breath. Inhale, rise up to tabletop. Tuck your toes and exhale, down dog. Step your right foot to the outside of your right hand, left foot to the outside of your left hand, and sit down into your low yoga squat one more time. Press your elbows once again into your knees. Bring your hands to prayer. Chest lifted, sit up nice and tall as you sink your hips a little lower. And breathe. And then release and come down to the mat and make your way to seated staff pose. Legs extended forward, knees pressed into the floor, feet flexed, chest lifted, core engaged. Breathe. Feel free to stay right here. Or if you want to work on a little hamstring stretch, maybe walk your hands towards your toes. And just find your edge there in your hamstring stretch. Feel that extension through your hamstrings, maybe even down into your calves. And breathe. Inhale back up to center. And then slowly roll down to your back. Pull your knees into your chest. And hug them in nice and close. And then extend your left leg and let it rest on the floor as you continue to hug your right knee in. Release your hands from your right knee if your hands are grabbing your right knee, and extend your right leg nice and straight with your legs flexed. With your right leg flexed, actually both legs flexed. But your right leg is lifted up towards the sky. If you want a little more, then maybe you reach your hands around your right leg and lift it up a little higher, creating a little more extension through that right leg. Now slowly release that right leg. Bring your arms to a field goal or a T position for balance. And then take your right leg and let it lower away from your body over to the right, keeping that right foot flexed and right leg straight. Inhale your leg back up to center. And on your exhale, let the leg continue to travel over to the left, keeping that right foot stretched or flexed and straight, right leg straight. Inhale back up to center. And then exhale, slowly lower your right leg back down to the floor. And once it gets there, lift your left leg up and hug it in for a breath. And then release your left knee and straighten your left leg. Flex your left foot. And then begin to lift your left leg up towards the sky. Maybe take your hands and grab around your left leg, pulling it a little bit more towards your head, getting a little more extension through your hamstring on your left side. And then release your left leg with your arms, bring them back out to your field goal or your T. And on your exhale, let your left foot travel towards the left side of your mat. As you exhale into that stretch on the inside of your left leg. Inhale your leg back up to center. And on your exhale, let it continue to travel over to the right. Inhale your leg back up to center. And then exhale, lower your left foot back down to the mat with your left knee still bent and lifted. With your left foot on the mat, take your right ankle across your left knee into reclined figure 4. Lift your left foot up off of the mat, pulling your left knee towards your chest. And then if you want to take your hands and reach around your left leg, allowing you to hug your left knee a little closer, creating a little more stretch in the outside of that right leg, keeping your feet flexed. And continue to breathe. Slowly lower your left foot down to the floor. And then lower your right foot to the floor and we'll switch sides. Take your left ankle across your right knee. Begin to lift your right foot up, pulling your right knee towards your chest. And then maybe bring your hands around your hamstrings on your right side. Maybe hug it in a little closer, keeping your feet flexed. Creating that stretch in the outside of your left leg. Once again, continuing to deepen your breath. Slowly lower your right foot down to the mat. And then lower your left foot down to the mat beside of it, bringing your ankles and your knees together, allowing them to touch. Bringing your arms out to a field goal post or a T once again. And on your exhale, let both knees fall over to the right, keeping them stacked. Inhale your knees back up to center. And then exhale, let your knees fall over to the left. Inhale your knees back up to center. And then exhale, let both knees fall away from each other. Recline butterfly. Inhale your knees back up to center. And then exhale, extend your legs forward. Let them rest on the mat. As you come into your final resting pose, let your feet flop over to the side. Bring your arms down by your side. Maybe walk your shoulder blades a little closer together so you can turn your palms up towards the sky. And bring your attention to your breath. Those long, slow, deep inhales and exhales. Just watching the breath flow in and flow out. Your body relaxing and sinking a little deeper into the mat with each inhale and exhale. I promise one more breathing practice here at the end of the session. And this breathing practice is designed for moments when you're anxious or you're having anxiety issues. This breathing practice is supposed to help with that. And the breathing practice is called 4-7-8 breathing. And how it works is you breathe in for a count of 4, you hold for a count of 7, you breathe out for a count of 8, and then you immediately repeat that with the inhale for a count of 4. I'll walk us through the first round and then you can continue from there. As we begin, inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale for 4 using your own count. Feel free to make it quicker or slower, your choice. In for 4, hold for 7, out for 8. Repeat for maybe 4 or 5 rounds of breath. And after you finish 3 or 4 rounds of the 4, 7, 8 breathing, just come back to deep inhales and exhales. Now take in a few more breaths. And then begin to move your fingers and toes and arms and legs. Moving and stretching anything that needs moving and stretching. If you'd like to roll over to one side and take a few breaths, feel free to do that now. Just moving at your own pace. And then when you're ready, just make your way back up to a nice, comfortable seat. For my thinkative thought of the week this week, I was thinking about what we could talk about, what we could share, something that might help people during this time. And I ran across this thought, and I thought it really applies to this time where we're kind of being limited in where we can go and what we can do. And this is the thought. It says, only the disciplined ones are free in life. If you aren't disciplined, you're a slave to your moods and you're a slave to your passions. And I kind of added to that, this was my thought. It says, what is most important to you? Think about that, consider that, and don't lose sight of that during these unusual and strange times of isolation, social distancing, and major disruptions to your normal routine. I don't know about you, but I find during these times that I had to develop a new routine, and I've had to take a look at what's most important to me and then set my new routine around that, because it's easy to, just lay around, sit around, binge watch Netflix, go to the refrigerator and just continue to eat, sleep in and not get any exercise, and just not really, and lose sight of what's important to you. And so that's kind of the challenge. And that's where the discipline comes in. Only the disciplined ones in life are free. Otherwise, you become slave to your moods and your passions. My Bible verse is from Philippians 2. And this is the verse. It says, so if there is any encouragement in Christ, any comfort from love, any participation in the Spirit, any affection and sympathy, complete my joy by being of the same mind, having the same love, being in full accord and of one mind. Do nothing from rivalry or conceit, but in humility count others more significant than yourselves. Let each of you look not to his own interest, but also to the interests of others. I thought that's very appropriate for this time of social isolation. I know where I'm at here at Carolina Beach, we're pretty isolated. And, you know, it's real easy to think, well, I'm healthy and so I'm not causing any issues. But then if I go out and get out in public and pick up the virus, then I'm going to transfer it back to all the people that I'm living with and the people that I come in contact with. And so that idea of considering others, you know, is always important, but it's even more important during this particular time as we try to fight this virus and keep it from spreading. And so that's kind of the thought of the week. Be disciplined. On your inhale, sweep your hands up to the sky. Exhale, press your hands back down towards the ground. Once again, inhale up together at the top and exhale down to heart center. Have a blessed week. Thanks for joining me today and for allowing me to lead your practice.